All right, welcome back. Hononegah, Algebra 1. Today we're going to talk about section 4.3, writing equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So first we have to talk about basically what happens when you have a parallel line and what happens when you have a perpendicular line. So we have a little exploration. I want you to find the slope. I want you to graph each one of these. So we're going to graph each one. And I wish I had, see if I can get them in three different colors here. But the first one has a y-intercept of positive 5 with a slope of positive 1/2. So up 1 over 2, up 1 to the right 2. So, and that last point didn't come out very well. But there's the first line. So I'm going to graph that one as best I can. The next one looks like it crossed the y-axis at positive 1 with a slope of negative 2. So down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1. And again, we're going to make that line as straight as we can there. And then the last one, I'll see if I can try to get a different color in here. Crosses the y-axis at negative 3 with a slope of positive 1/2 again, up 1 over 2. So as I look at this, which two lines appear to be parallel? And parallel lines are basically two lines that'll never cross. Well, it looks like A, and then this one is B, and then this one is, let's see if I can get the green to work again, C, and it didn't work. That's okay. Which two lines appear to be parallel? Well, the two lines that appear to never cross are A and C. Because why do you think that? Or why do you think that those two lines? Because you end up having the same slope. Which two lines appear to be perpendicular? Now, many of you maybe don't know perpendicular, but perpendicular are two lines that basically cross at a 90-degree angle. And so both of those appear to be perpendicular. So A is perpendicular with B, and then B is also perpendicular with C. And now let's look at the slope and see why. Remember at the end of section 4.2, we talked about reciprocal. So I have a positive 1/2 slope, and we have a slope of negative 2, and those two are opposite, what's known as opposite reciprocals. So how can we use the slope to determine if the slopes are the same, then they're parallel. And if the slopes are opposite, meaning one's positive and one's negative, and reciprocals, then they are perpendicular. So that's what we're going to really talk about today. We're going to talk about slopes and how we can decide whether or not two things are parallel or perpendicular. And then we're going to write equations of lines for parallel and perpendicular. So lots of stuff today. Two lines that in the same plane that never intersect are called parallel lines. All vertical lines would also be parallel. So if I have a vertical line, if I have a horizontal line, they would also be parallel. So now determine the slopes. So I'm going to look at the slopes of each one of these. So this one goes down 1 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 1/5. The next one, down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has a negative 1/4. And then the last one, down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So even though each one of these is really close, the only two that are actually parallel are A and C. A and C in this particular question are parallel to each other. Now, if I ever do this parallel in geometry, if you ever use this little, it looks like an 11, but it's a taller 11 and it's closer together. That is the symbol for parallel. So A is parallel with C. So if you ever see that symbol, that is the parallel symbol. Line A passes through negative 5, 3, and negative 6, 1. Line B passes through 3, negative 2, and 2, negative 7 are the lines parallel. So find the slope. Let's find the slope of A. I see it's a U try, so go ahead and hit pause, and when you come back, let's see if you got it right. All right, welcome back. So y minus y on top, x minus x on the bottom. So I end up getting 4 over 1, which is a slope of 4. So line A has a slope of 4. Line B, y minus y on top, x minus x on the bottom. So negative 2 minus a negative 7 would be positive 5. So it has a slope of 5. So are the two lines parallel? No, not parallel. Reason? They don't have the same do not have the same slope. Next one. Write the equation of a line that passes through the 4, -4 and is parallel to y equals 2x plus 3. All right, this is the big one. This is going to be on your test. This is going to be on your quiz, and this is going to be where some of you are going to have troubles. Find the slope of the line that they gave you. So the slope of the line they gave me is 2. With that being said, because they're asking me to do parallel, the slope of the line they want me to write would also be 2. And from what we talked about last chapter, or excuse me, what we talked about last section, y minus y of the point, slope, x minus the x of the point. I am using the point slope form to write my equation. So I took the slope from the given line, the point that they gave me, and I know some of you are going to be confused by this little part, so I'm going to make that a +4 because it's minusing a negative. 2 parts now, distribute, and then subtract. So the answer to the question, what is the equation of a line that passes through 5, -4 and is parallel to y equals 2x plus 3 is the line y equals 2x minus 14. So the next one, hit pause, try it again. All right, welcome back. So the slope of the line that they gave me was a 4th. So the slope of the line they want me to write is also a 4th. Y minus the y of the point, slope, x minus the x of the point, and since the point was -4, distribute, and add. So the answer is y equals 1/4 x plus 3. So hopefully you got it right. You took the slope from the line that they gave you, used that slope to write an equation with the given point. Now let's talk about perpendicular. And perpendicular is a lot more complicated than parallel because ultimately perpendicular lines have what's known as opposite reciprocal slopes. And so off to the side here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. If I have a slope of 2, -2, then the perpendicular, by the way, that is the symbol for perpendicular, is an upside down T, is positive 1/2. So let's do a couple more of those. If I did a slope of, let's say, -3/4, then the perpendicular line would have a slope of positive 4/3. So notice it's opposite in sign, so one's positive and one's negative, and it's reciprocal. So determine which of these lines are parallel and perpendicular. The slope of this one is 4. Well, I need to solve this one for y first before deciding what my slope is. So the middle one has a slope of -1/4. And then the last one, again, I have to solve this for y. So I could divide everything by -8. Move this out of the way here. So y would equal -1/4 x minus 2. So this again has a slope of -1/4. So which ones are parallel and which ones are perpendicular? Well, B and C are parallel. B and C are parallel because they have the exact same slope. And then A and B are perpendicular. I'm just going to use the symbol. And A and C are perpendicular because they have opposite reciprocal slopes. So this is the big question of the day, and this is the one that's going to be on a test. This is the one that's going to be on the quiz. It says, write the equation of the line that passed through -3, 1 and is perpendicular to y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So what is the slope of the line they give you? It's positive 1/2. And here's where things are a little different. Now they're asking for perpendicular. So the equation, or the slope of the line that they want me to write would be negative, because it has to be opposite signed, and reciprocal. So it'd be -2. Now I just take this information and write an equation. Y minus the y of the point, slope, x minus the x of the point. So all I'm doing now is resorting back to what we did in section 4.2 in point slope form. Distribute and then add. So the answer to the question is y equals negative 2x minus 5. So you try this next one. Again, hit pause. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. So the slope of the line they gave me was negative 3. The slope of the line they want me to write would be, remember this is perpendicular now, would be positive 1/3. Because again, opposites, so one's positive, one's negative, reciprocal. Now it goes back to what you did in section 4.2. Y minus the y of the point they gave me, slope, x minus the x of the point they gave me. So since it's negative, it'd be x plus 3 because you're minusing a negative. Distribute, and then add 5. So I add 5 to both sides. So this is writing an equation of a line that is perpendicular. The position of a helicopter search for rescue is shown in the graph. The shortest path between the shoreline is one that is perpendicular to the shoreline. So think about that. If you are out in the ocean and you want to get back to the shore, the shortest point would be your point that's perpendicular. Write an equation that represents the path. So here's what they want. They want to know what the slope is. So let's first find the slope of the shore. So here's one point on the shore, and here's another point on the shore. So it goes down 2, to the right 3. So the slope of the shore is negative 2/3. So then what must the slope that's perpendicular be? Positive 3/2. And then they give you a point using the point slope form. Y minus the y of the point, so y minus 4. Slope, so 3/2, x minus 14. Distribute. And then add. So the path of the helicopter, if it wants to go perpendicular to the shoreline, would be y equals 3/2 x minus 17. Write an equation of the line parallel to x equals 5. Now this is an interesting question because we haven't necessarily talked about that. All lines that go straight up and down, so all x equals lines, would be parallel with any also x equals line. So if I had x equals 5, then if I wanted x equals 2, that would also be parallel. Now, any x equals line is perpendicular to any y equals line. So if I had a y equals 4 and I wanted to write an equation that's perpendicular, I would need an x equals line. So again, all x equal number lines are parallel, and all x equal and y equal lines are perpendicular. Your homework assignment tonight, I believe, is also out of the book again. Obviously, please check with your teacher on that one. But if you have any questions, please make sure you ask your teacher, and good luck.